It's a poison! That doesn't help the stress level! No, don't do it! Get a grip! This stupid video I just showed you! I almost stroked out and died over it! You're watching a different show! You donkey! You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State, it's Ohio State! What do you mean, see? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It's not a feel-good Friday, quite frankly. It's not a feel-good Friday. I want to say welcome in on a feel-good Friday and have all this energy. Listen, people in Notre Dame land are just not in a good place right now. And I understand it. And I don't hold it against people. But just looking at the chat this morning, there's just a lot of Irish anxiety, a lot of frustration, questions about Freeman, questions about the roster. And you know what I think it is, you guys? I was thinking about this early this morning. I write my articles early in the morning with a fresh mind before it gets polluted by everything that happens in the world. It's the playoff is starting and no one here's in the mood. I think that's what it is. Like when I logged in today and I'm getting ready and I see some of the chats, some of the blatant negativity, some of it towards me, some of it just towards the overall Notre Dame vibe right now. I understand it. I'm not even going to hold it against any of you guys. I'm not even going to hold it against it. Even the person that took a very personal shot at me this morning in the chat, and I'm not going to address it and make it a bigger deal than it is, but somebody went out of their way to take a personal shot at me and my show. I'm not even going to be mad. Everybody's just in a bad mood. Everyone here is just in a bad mood. What's the date today? The 19th, the 20th. It's on everyone's mind that 1 year ago, we were in the playoff hosting a game and there was all this excitement and all this hope. And now the playoffs starting tonight and no one here could be excited about it. Except for trolls that are here because they like another team, right? But it's like, I don't blame anybody. Nobody's in a good mood. Take it out on me if you need to. I will happily accept that because I totally understand where you guys are coming from. And you know, I give you credit. If you're a very frustrated, angry, distraught Notre Dame fan right now at everything going on, the playoff committee, all of our good players leaving that off a team that had a chance to win a championship in what I perceive to be a pretty weak playoff field where anybody that gets hot could win it. You got the Freeman NFL rumors people are struggling with. I see in the chat. You're not in the playoff and everybody else is excited to be in the playoff. And then you're losing all these good guys off this team that should still be playing, guys that should still have games left in a Notre Dame uniform. I don't blame you guys. So if anybody is at that level of frustration and you need to take it out on me or whatever, go for it. I cannot just be here when things are good and ride that wave and people are in a good mood and everybody's excited. When we're down and we're out, I got to be here too. So if you need to vent here, I'm fine. I totally get it. I'm in a horrible mood too. Somebody just wrote, well, fine, I guess then, John, you suck. But like, I understand where you're at and I don't blame you. I still say I give way more lenience of any Notre Dame channel as far as disagreeing with me, going against the Notre Dame narrative, like whatever. I give dissent, disagreeing with the host. I feel like I give way more grace than any other Notre Dame channel. So like, I really do try to give you guys space, even when it's coming at me or like the I get it. That's where I want to start. I get it. I understand it. I'm in a bad mood too. And we're just going to have to work through this together. I'll tell you what I do appreciate. You could be a very frustrated Notre Dame fan and just say, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm off the YouTube shows. I'm not watching. I'm not tuning into I'm not doing the Patreon. It's too painful. I don't want to deal with this. Maybe I'll be in the mood to rejoin later. I give you guys a lot of credit for being here because I know how frustrated everyone is in Notre Dame land right now. I know it. So I'm thankful that you guys are here and have a place to vent. It's been challenging for everyone. And I understand. So do what you need to do. But I appreciate you guys that are channeling the frustration through being here and not just going away when things get hard. And so we're going to be here together and we're going to make it through this. Okay? This is Notre Dame. We're going to make it through this together. So I'm so agitated today, man. I'm just so agitated. And I was reading the chats and I'm wondering, ooh, there's a little extra juice here, man. Like where it's because the playoffs starting and you should be in it and you're not in it. And you don't want to see any team win. I don't want to see any team win any of these games. Is that possible? Can a brother get that as the outcome? I don't want anyone to win any of these games. It's tough. As always, thanks for being here. Thank you for the donations. We already have some people that want to jump on, and I'm gonna get to you guys, okay? And we'll have a nice, tidy, quick show here, and you could all watch the bowl games you don't care about the rest of the night. As always, when are we doing a night show, Johnny? Yeah, I did really want to do a night show. Some of the logistical issues that have come up on the back end of YouTube, I'm rethinking how many extra shows I want to add in a period of time here. I got to be careful with that. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I did see the Michigan AD said they're not hiring Kelly. Even Michigan has standards, right? Even all the scandal and everything else, even they have standards. We're not bringing that guy in. Telling you. Brian Kelly, go golf for a couple years. Go golf your heart out with all that money and then get into the media. You don't need to coach again. You got generational wealth. You've done a lot. Like, go golf, relax. Go golf and relax, and then maybe look into the media. That's what I do if I'm him. You don't need to coach again. What is he, 60-something years old? Go play your golf with your money. Get on a TV set. You could still be relevant. Be a voice in the game. He always thinks he's the most important guy in the room. The media thing will serve him well on that front. That's what I would recommend if I was him. So as always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny as well. Notifications on. You don't miss anything. There's been a lot of breaking news. A lot of it's not good, but there's been a lot of breaking news lately. Our Mangoes, like I've said, Ohio State will avenge Notre Dame. Do you, Mangoes, I love you. You're on the Patreon. Like, you're a nice Ohio State guy. I do respect. You think it's going to make Notre Dame people feel any better if Ohio State wins another title? The team that we haven't beat since 1936? Like, that is it. There's no outcome that's going to make us feel good with this playoff. I can't really think of an angle that I'm going to like. Like, I just can't. So this is just going to be a brutal little stretch. It's a brutal stretch. So I don't know. Twitter search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. I am limiting. I'm being honest about this for my own mental sanity. I am limiting my Twitter time. It is unbelievable, the anti-Notre Dame propaganda that's being sown on Twitter. I log in just to post an article or a video. All of the tweets I see are against Notre Dame, and some of them are fair, some of them are wildly unfair. It's not even a battle worth joining in at this point. Tom Frolley, good to see you, man. Everybody's in a rough mood, Tom. Nobody's excited for the playoff. Everybody's in a bad mood. Our good players are leaving. There's rumors the coach is leaving still. I have some information on that, though. So, Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you could get it. If you're sick of looking at my face all season, gosh, I don't blame you guys. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Great team over there. Great community over there. Really, you guys are awesome. So thank you very much. So let's get into this. I'm going to do a couple super chats, and there's some of you guys waiting, and we'll get you on, especially people that didn't get on the other day. Like we'll go through it. We'll get you guys going here. So there was a few chats about Freeman and that nobody's heard that he's doing an extension and they haven't come out and announced that or whatever. The last information I heard came from John Bryce at Football Scoop. And I will say why I like John Bryce's coverage is he runs at a different circle of contacts in the world of college football. Very heavy on the behind the scenes, media deals, coaching deals, negotiation, NIL numbers, how the back end of all that negotiation stuff works with conferences expanding, the playoff, coaching contracts, all of that. And he knows a lot of the agencies from that space. So I like his information because it comes from a different pool of data and information and context than a lot of the regulars. He's saying Notre Dame and Freeman have been working on an extension and they feel like something should be announced soon. Now, I trust Bryce and his contacts, and he's saying something's been working on. We expect an announcement soon. Even if that happens, Notre Dame fans need to understand this is going to be a yearly battle from now on. Every year now, this is going to be a thing. All of the top college jobs that are open are going to approach Freeman and his agent. NFL people are going to approach Freeman and his agent. You're just going to have to deal with it and hope Notre Dame wins a championship before Freeman gets an offer he can't refuse. My life will be ruined if Indiana wins. I feel you, Ryan. I'm having a problem because I see Indiana doing the things Notre Dame historically has been the team from Indiana doing. Heisman's, playing for championships. And you're looking around the room and you see Indiana doing all that stuff and not Notre Dame, and it really hurts. It's a struggle. I mean, I have been really struggling with the concept that I'm looking at Indiana doing all the Notre Dame things with the Heisman and now in a title hunt. It really is disturbing. It's quite disturbing. Homer TD. That is my favorite $5 holler I've ever received, and you and I both know why. Assuming it isn't someone in your stead, that is my favorite $5 holler I've ever gotten, Tony. So God bless you, and I hope it's you and not somebody on your account. But that is the best $5 holler I've ever gotten, and he knows why. That means a lot to me, man. Means a lot to me to see that. And so this is where I think it's at. I think Freeman's coming back to Notre Dame. They're going to do something, but you all need to understand every year now, this is going to be a problem. If you have a coach nobody wants, how good is your coach? You don't have to worry about losing them, but how good is your coach? And if you have a really good coach everyone wants, you are going to have to worry about this problem every single offseason. That tells me Mike Goolsby was totally right when he was saying a while ago, you better win a championship while you get a chance with Freeman before things change. So get used to it. Get used to it. It barely happens with Lanning, Cignetti, or Kirby. It's a different dynamic. It's just a different dynamic with Freeman. He's so young, so electric. People want him. People want him. Freeman is a different kind of personality than like a Cignetti. People are going to want him. So I understand the anxiety of everybody wanting that extension to be announced and all that. I get all that. I'm there with you too. So I think you get him, but every year you're going to have to worry. So that's where I'm at on it until something changes. Let's do these chats. We'll go to the calls. I do ask you guys, try and keep the calls pretty clean. If you can, stay away from the bad words. Keep it pretty clean and clear. $10 holler from the rotate. I think if we keep Carr, KVA, one of the backs, great outs, and a few receivers to go get some real big boys in the portal on both lines and a real DC, we should be solid. That's a lot of things on that Christmas list. That's a lot of things on that Christmas list. I was hearing yesterday on one of the other shows, I think it might have been Irish Illustrator or something. They were saying KVA is probably going to be out a month or two into next season. It's just brutal, man. That's one of your best players. It's brutal. So, rotate. It's good to see you. Thank you. $10 holler from my main man. I got a silo full of the tortillas. Love you guys. $5 holler from the rotate. You know you're relevant. You made it when people don't even like you. Go out of the way to find and support you and watch your show. I appreciate that, rotate. Try and be the people's voice here as much as I can. Give you guys a runway. $5 holler from Zach. Vibes with Freeman staying long-term aren't good right now. Only coach so far to not reaffirm his commitment and let the rumors run on. Can't be good. I don't know, man. Is it a leverage game to leverage Notre Dame to get more of what Freeman wants here? The other thing is he's under contract. So there isn't like this obligation. It's not like Freeman's contract runs out at the first of the year and now you got to make a decision, either totally restructure a new deal or go to the NFL. That's not the case. He's under contract. So it isn't like I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for that to break. So I don't know whether they need to make a big deal of an extension or any changes to the existing agreement or not. I don't know how that works. But for peace of mind, for a fan base that's in a very bad mental spot, I understand why people need it. $2 holler. This barely happens with Land. Like, it's not going to happen with Kirby because it's Kirby College. Like, I don't know. It's just different. Like, it's Kirby College, man. Like, I don't even like that. Doesn't even enter my mind. Freeman's a totally different type of cat. So I don't know. It's just a little anxiety provoking. All right, let's get Renee in at work. He'll be real quick. Todd, I missed you the other day. I want to get to you. Mike, Tom, Terrence, I haven't heard from you. Let's see what's up. Renee, good morning.
Hey, good morning, buddy. How are you?
You know, Renee, man, it's I'm in a bad mood today. The playoffs starting and we're not in it and everybody's on edge and I feel that. People are in a bad mood, man. The playoffs starting without you and it's hitting everyone hard today.
Yeah, brother. You know what? Don't be. You know, like I said the other day, bro. I was just kind of had to get that off my chest, and it is tough. A year ago, we're getting ready, right? We're excited. The first ever the historic playoff games happened at Notre Dame. You have that amazing, feeling. It's electric. But last year, Al Golden said it best. Last year's last year. For us, unfortunately, right now, last year is last year now. The way I'm getting through it, brother, and like I tell you, is we'll see each other in April. Once these holidays come and go, the CFP, the national title will be determined. So you got to look at it literally day by day, the way Mango says. And so, in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks, a week Christmas here, 2 weeks of New Year's here, a week after that, it's played, and then so really 3 weeks. Got to count it down like that, and it's done. It's over. You know what I mean? And then the tailgate, the Blue and Gate tailgate. Then after that, the in-season tailgate, or the kickoff, then in-season. And you just gradually got to take it day by day. Unfortunately for you, buddy, you're in it 100%, 24/7 because it's your that's your line of work. You know, that's your line of work, and so that's the bad thing. But the good thing, bro, is like I said, it's behind us now. That unfortunately, that's the truth, but it is behind us. So we got to just move forward, man. And a lot of positives though. The one thing that you said is the CJ Carr's team now. I really hope it is. Like I said, I've not been the biggest believer in that boy, and I've never shied from that. But I really hope it is. I hope that this young team will have a new we'll have a new look, and we'll have that we got to do it for the dudes that came before us. Like Coach Freeman says, leave Notre Dame better than what you left it, and I truly believe in that. Um, Johnny, if you watch Freeman's interviews throughout the years, he talks about who's they ask him, and then I'll get out of here. Just because he's not going nowhere, bro. You're not a clickbait show. You're the voice of the people. You remember that. You're not a clickbait show. But these other people are getting rich off Notre Dame and their decisions. They're clickbaiters. But if you watch his interviews throughout the years, who is Marcus Freeman? They ask him. Well, I'm a husband. I'm a father. You know, I'm a son, and he talks so great about his mother, his father, and those are the traditions and the morals and the values that embody the University of Notre Dame. He said it in that other show when he said, "Hey, you're a candidate." He goes, "I'm not going nowhere," you know. And so that's the one thing that we really have to take in consideration. And that old saying, "All money's not good money. All money's not good money." You know what I mean? Money could only go so far. Then comes God. You know what I'm saying? So he's not going anywhere, bro. You've said it best. He's so genuine that's why Deuce Knight played him, right? Because he's so genuine, and he's genuine enough that he wants to see these young boys win a national title. He's not gonna say no to Notre Dame twice. He said it over and over, and so I really believe, bro, that he's here. I don't need to hear him tell us we're here. I know he's here for the long run, and he needs some time. I'm pretty sure he's a little bit dumbfounded too, like what just happened to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hey, Johnny, positives, bro. Like I said, I got season tickets to the girls. I might head out there in January and watch a hockey game, watch the girls game, and then after that, the tailgate in April, then kickoff, then in season tailgate, bro. It gets better, Johnny. It gets better, okay, buddy?
I hope so, but man, it's tough today when with the playoffs starting. I feel the edge from the Notre Dame fans, and I understand it. I'm with you. I feel very odd and bitter today too,
Yeah.
and I just do, and it's going to be a tough playoff run to watch when you feel like you should be a part of it. But there's nothing we could do but move on, and the Freeman thing is a part of that moving on. And I think that is giving people another layer of anxiety because you're kind of waiting for confirmation on that. So I understand it.
Yeah, brother. But you said it best, man. It's good we're together when we're all doing great. It's even more important we're together when we're all feeling like this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'll get better, brother. Trust me. I was just as livid as all the rest of you guys, but now, like I said, those small dates and those small goals, getting there in January, then getting there in April, then kickoff, then in season. It's what gets me through, brother. It's what I look forward to, man. All you guys look forward. It's a new day, and as long as hey, you know what? Pain lets you know you're alive, homie. And as long as you're breathing, you got another chance, baby. Onward,
True.
Notre Dame, Johnny. I love you, buddy.
Hey, man, we'll talk to you soon, Renee. Be good, my friend. Be good. All right, I gotta blow my nose. I've made it all the way through October. You guys know, usually in October, I get hit. I survived that, but now I'm getting it. So give me 2 seconds. We'll go right back to you guys and your call. So I don't really know what to think. Andrew Gilmore. Pate's going around saying his sources say Freeman's a legitimate candidate for the Giants and ND could be looking for a coach. Listen, I don't know what to say about that. Like, take it or leave it, believe it, don't believe it, like whatever. All I know is if you wait this long and then he leaves, Notre Dame, this whole thing ramps up to a whole nother level of problems. All the negativity we just went through in the playoff slide, and it'll be a whole different level of problems if that happens. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. The last I heard from a guy I trust was John Bryce feeling like they're working on something and it should be announced soon. So I don't know. If you could believe whatever you want to believe, worry about it. I don't know. All I'm saying is you're not going to have the guy forever if he's that sought after, and you better win while you can. Win while you can. I don't know what else to say about it. It is, and then somebody said, where is it? The prolonged rumors are bad for the program. In what way? In what way? Like fan anxiety? Yes. It has not affected recruiting at all. You landed a really good guy the other day, earlier, like in the week. So, like, it really hasn't affected recruiting yet. So I'm wondering, bad for the program. We have the worst PR of any program in America right now. Everyone in America is hammering Notre Dame for every single reason. What else could be bad? John, this is bad for recruiting going forward if nobody's going to be here. Well, you're going to get a resolution soon. You're going to get a resolution soon. So this is not going to be like the uncertainty affects public perception. Who cares? Our public perception's ruined already. Our public perception is ruined already. I do not care about that at all. What I care about is if Freeman's in a room with the guy and his parents and they want to know, are you going to be the coach of my kid? I get it. This is not what you want to be dealing with, especially given I get it. Be frustrated. I'm not telling anyone to not be frustrated with any part of this. Go for it. I'm not pushing back. I totally understand the dynamic of everything that could go wrong has gone wrong so far, and you're waiting for one more big thing to get you. I totally get it. I totally get it. I get it. So whatever, man. I'm not going to tell anybody not to stress out. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Terrence, what's going on? Todd, you're coming up. I know I want to give you a little more time. I'm getting my travelers in and out. Terrence, what's up? Terrence.
Can you hear?
Not really. All right, I can't hear him good. Rejoin, Terrence. Mike, what's up, buddy?
Hey, John. I know that this year really sucks for Notre Dame fans and missing the playoffs. I think that Notre Dame is probably one of the 5 teams that could have won it all. I got them with Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, and Georgia. I don't trust Alabama and their negative 3 yards to make it through a tough 4-game stretch.
Yeah, man, it's just everyone's in a bad mood, and I get it. And I'm not going to try and talk anybody into not being in a bad mood. I don't want anyone in the playoffs to win. This is going to be a bitter playoff run.
I was wondering, now I don't know this too well as far as how the playoff committee is formed, but all these conferences, don't they have a say in everything? How much influence does the group of 5 have? Because everyone seems to have a seat at the table, or that's what I hear. I don't know exactly their extent of their influence.
With the group of 5, the understanding I have is from looking at the research and listening to some other people that have knowledge of this, Greg Sankey of the SEC and Jack Swarbrick of Notre Dame were 2 of the main architects of the current format. And that is what has enabled 2 of those group of 5 teams to move into this field. And I don't know if people are rethinking if that's what we want to do moving forward or not, or if this thing's going to move to 16 and create a bigger net for people to get in. I'm not sure what direction this is going. But Sankey and Swarbrick were all over the current format that ended up burning us.
Right. I know you've been saying Notre Dame against the world, and and you want to double down on everything. And I was just wondering if you could make the world smaller by removing the group of five if they got their own playoff. And I think that's if you could find some middle ground with your enemies, with the SEC, with the Big Ten, because Texas, they feel like they're screwed too, because while Notre Dame scheduled Miami and A&M, Texas, they're feeling like, well, if we didn't schedule Ohio State, if we would have played cupcake teams, if they would have played an ACC team, then they would have gotten in also. It seems like no matter what criteria that they throw at you, it's more like the 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. You lose 3 games, you're out. You have 2 losses, maybe you get in, maybe you don't. And so I'm thinking it's not Notre Dame versus Miami, Notre Dame versus Bama, it's Notre Dame versus the conferences. And if you can remove those group of 5 teams, Notre Dame's already in there. And everyone seems to not care about the James Madison games. The ratings are going to show that. So maybe this is all a problem that'll fix itself, but this year is kind of that transition year.
You mentioned middle ground. Here's a middle ground solution. There could be one spot for a group of 5 team if they finish in like the top 20 of the rankings or whatever. Like the bid goes automatically to the highest ranked group of 5 or whatever. You got to get rid of that. You can't have a team not playing a competitive schedule against like power 4 programs, then feel like they have an automatic run to the playoff. That doesn't seem fair to me. They should have to be ranked at a certain level to then have that clause kick in that bumps them in. And it should only be one. The ACC messed this all up by having Duke in their championship game. And then by default, that knocked Notre Dame down because they weren't going to leave the ACC out, and they're not putting a 5-loss team in the playoff.
I agree with that. If there needs to be now, doesn't Notre Dame in the future get a guaranteed spot also if they're ranked 12th or higher?
Yeah, and again, this is something that has been misconstrued by either the lazy and or disingenuous anti-Notre Dame media. That deal that Notre Dame was guaranteed to be in the field if they're ranked in the top 12 was done a year ago. And now that this situation's happened, everybody's writing and talking about it like that deal just came up in response to what happened this year. And that's not true. That has been a year in the making of that deal that Notre Dame's guaranteed if they're in the top 12. But everybody's piling on, acting like we just cried and made that rule now because this happened. This was done way before this year.
Yeah, and you're going to get people that cry about that because if any team, if someone else got that rule, if it was Miami, everyone would be dogging Miami. I don't think it's anybody hating on Notre Dame necessarily. But just if someone was guaranteed, it's like because there were 2 group of 5 teams that were not in the top 12 to bump teams out. So that saves you from being 11th or 12th being bumped out. So that's really comfortable. So from the future, I think Notre Dame might be the best position in the future.
It's more ammunition that Notre Dame gets special treatment and wants special treatment because they're different, and no one likes that. So I understand it. And the other thing, it's like maybe we go to 16 and I'm prepared for Notre Dame to end up 17th. Like I don't trust anybody anymore. You better win all your games or go 11-1 at the worst moving forward. I think that's a big lesson to be learned.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm a Notre Dame fan or anybody wanting to win a national title. That's the standard. That if you're 17th or 16th, I'm not sure if I'm too worried either way. As a Buckeye fan, if we don't beat the Wolverines, if we don't win all of our games, then I look at last year's Natty as a consolation prize. But I don't think anybody below the top 15 is probably going the distance.
Yeah,
so
it's
a bit of
again,
a moot point.
Let's see what happens with the games with the group of 5 teams, if they keep it competitive or not. One of them's a repeat. Ole Miss blew out Ole Miss. The Ole Miss game was already played and they won 45-10. So you're getting a repeat of that. Is that what everybody counts as must-see playoff TV? Because it isn't in my mind.
No, not at all. And everyone's going to be in agreement on that. And the playoffs will change. And it already the rules are changing next year. So I know that it's really it's going to hurt a lot to watch the playoffs. But I was also wondering all the complaints about what Brian Kelly had before, what he was dealing with, what he used as excuses and struggles. What has Notre Dame done to change that for Marcus Freeman, or is everything that has changed been by Marcus Freeman?
I think that's a really fair, good question. And I think there are multiple answers to it. Number one is the game of college football has changed so quickly, regardless of who the next coach was going to be at Notre Dame. Some big things needed to change in order to compete. Notre Dame had to decide whether to fully get in the NIL game or not. And if they didn't, they'd basically be an Ivy League school. You're not going to land any good players then. So some of the change had to happen if you were going to stay serious about football. But a bunch of it has to do with Marcus Freeman, his personality, knowing how to work with the donors, knowing how to work with the admin, doing a really good job with that. And I think that has more people at Notre Dame wanting to help him out. So it isn't all him. Notre Dame was going to have to modernize no matter what. But a lot of it is him and what he's been able to get done with the relationship building and how he treats people.
Well, I'm just also curious. You were talking about Indiana earlier, and Kirk Cignetti seems to be locked up. Dan Lanning seems to be locked up, and Notre Dame has a much more rich history, blue blood program. What is Indiana doing differently that Notre Dame can't do to lock up their head coaching position?
I just think it's totally different guys at different parts of their life. You know what I mean? Cignetti's like 60 years old, man, and got his big shot and it's going well. That's different than being like under 40 and the hottest coaching candidate around. I just think they're at way different parts of their lives.
So do you think, like I said, Dan Lanning, Ryan Day, do you think that there's a bunch of NFL teams, college programs that are coming after them? Because Oregon doesn't have that prestigious. They're not that old.
Right. But Oregon does have Nike money. Dan Lanning would be a fool to go anywhere when you have Phil Knight writing blank checks from Nike. That is one of the best jobs you could have. It's a little challenging to recruit all the way to Oregon, but when you have Nike money, you would be a fool to look anywhere else. That is the best support you could get, is having Nike money.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you. Thank you for letting me be on here.
No problem, man. Really enjoyed your questions. Those were good, man. Hey, try and enjoy the football if you can, brother.
You too.
See ya. Those are really good questions. Got put on the spot there. Really good, fair questions. $5 hour. Paul. Indy can't lose 2 games, period. That being said, none of the remaining teams wanted to face the Irish. Yeah, you learned. You know what? I got burned on, you guys. I got burned on this. Remember when I was saying the goal for Notre Dame is to figure out a way to get to 10-2 and dare the play? I kept saying this. You got to dare the playoff committee to keep a 10-2 Notre Dame team on a 10-game winning streak with a Heisman candidate out of the field. I kept saying, you got to go 10-2 and dare them to leave you out. Well, guess what happened? You dared them, and they took the dare, and they left you out. They took the dare, and they left you out. So they went for it. Pat, good morning. What's going on?
Hey, morning, Johnny.
Everybody's in a bad mood.
I don't know why.
Because the playoffs starting and you're not in it, and half the people think the coach is leaving. So what's there to be in a good mood about?
The coach leaving stuff, he's not leaving. I have read article after article, like tweet after tweet, like all these things. They're like, oh, the Giants are interested. The Giants, Notre Dame's going to lose their coach. And then you read it and you actually get into the details. He hasn't interviewed. He's not scheduled to interview. He is still recruiting. Yes, I took the blur off. The drapes are back. The vanity is out of my office. So it's all right. I never said Price wasn't leaving. I actually, Kent, this is why you're disingenuous. I actually said Price was leaving months ago. I was always on the Price was going to leave wagon. He was the second best running back in the class. Don't say things that aren't true. But all this stuff on Freeman, it's nothing aligns with anything. And so I don't understand the the angst that everyone has. Notre Dame has historically been slow with contracts. There always have been. It sucks. That's the way they are. It's because of George O'Leary and what happened there. And now they just take their time with contracts. But I don't think there's a concern. Everyone's hearing the rumors. There's a deal in place. I don't think he's taking the Giants thing seriously. His agent, see, that's the thing. There's Marcus Freeman and what he's doing, and then there's his agent and what his agent is doing. And his agent is trying to make it as lucrative as possible for him because that's the dude's job. So he might float things in the press to kick things going, but I mean, he just signed this safety who's supposed to be a stud. He's working on, again, one of the best recruiting classes in the country. So there's a lot of stuff. That's not true. They were slow with Denbrock's contract.
I mean, listen, Pat, I understand, though. Like, I understand because Notre Dame fans feel like everything that's gone wrong so far has, and they're in a mental space where they're just kind of waiting for the next horrible shoe to drop. Like, right. I understand it. And then, Pat, the other part is it's like, well, this year got ruined, and now all we got to do is move forward. All you can do is move forward. Well, it's hard for people to even get in the mind space to move forward when you log onto Twitter and there's rumors your coach is going to the NFL. That is kind of preventing people from moving forward. Right. That's where I think this whole fan base is.
I have a really good,
a lot of it.
I have a really good solution for everyone. Stop going on to Twitter because it's bullshit. It's not true. None of this stuff. You have not been able to find anybody who has said Marcus Freeman has interest in the Giants. Nobody is out there saying that because he doesn't. Nobody's out there. We have never in the time since he's been there got any indication that he wanted to coach in the NFL. He's a college coach. That's where he wants to be. I'm not saying 10 years from now or 5 years from now or 2 years from now that might change and he might have an interest in an NFL job.
Hey, I ask you this? And I don't know whether this is just my emotional immaturity, which is probably why this channel has succeeded, quite frankly. Yeah. If it makes sense, like my emotional immaturity is probably why this has grown. Let me ask this, Pat. Give me an honest answer. Is there any human level to the idea of we worked so hard to get in playoff position, got burned at the end, and maybe he's more open to learning about more jobs because he's frustrated in the moment of like, we did all we could and we're still on the outside. Like that dynamic.
Well, hold on.
When people are throwing you NFL money and jobs and you're in a bad spot and upset, is there any emotional piece of that where Freeman's more open to listening to it because he's frustrated now? Or is that what I would do because I have the emotional maturity of a teenager?
Well, you do. That's a teenager. My 12-year-old has more emotional maturity than you. But if his thought process is, I did all I could do and we still didn't make it, so I'm going to go look at the NFL. Well, then maybe my impression of Marcus Freeman isn't accurate.
Because
you didn't do all you could do.
Close. Yeah.
You didn't. You lost 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't care. Oh, this or that. No, you lost 2 games. You conference or non-conference, whatever. You lost 2 games. You could look Vanderbilt. They could have been there. By BYU, they could have been there. They're in conferences. So conference teams who lose 2 games still miss out.
Yeah.
So you didn't do all you could do. So if you're going to take the impression that I did all I can do after you lost 2 games, no, that's wrong. That's just wrong. That's a really good comeback to what I said. It's not like you went 12-0 and got denied. Yeah, correct. That's a very good point. That's fair. Not only that, but the college football playoff structure changed this year to make it easier for Notre Dame to allow Notre Dame to get a first round bye. Sure, Notre Dame has to go undefeated, but they saw Notre Dame tear through everyone last year. And they're like, okay, maybe this team should get a bye because they're clearly, holding them out because they can't win a conference championship isn't right. Yeah. So there's changes, and there's change again coming to this upcoming one where this can't happen again if Notre Dame's in the top 12, which it blows my mind why people get upset about this flyer that Notre Dame has that says if Notre Dame's ranked in the top 12, they're going to be in the 12-team playoff. And people are upset about that. And I can't wrap my head around that. I don't understand why everyone is not out there saying if your team is ranked in the top 12, they should be in the 12-team playoff. The whole thing is supposed to be about the best 12 teams. We have already gone through the statistics to proven there were 7 group of 5 teams or group of 6, whatever the hell they're called now, that would have been in the top 12. Cincinnati made the top 4 and went to a playoff game when it was 4. So we don't need a carve out because of antitrust issues. We don't. They can accomplish it if they're good enough. But these 2 teams in there aren't good enough. And I think they having James Madison and Tulane in the playoff is a slap in the face to every college football fan in the country. But that's been argued and
you know, man, I was thinking about that, like previewing it, like Alabama, Oklahoma, a lot of intrigue. Obviously, Miami and A&M for Notre Dame fans. That is you're very interested to see that. But then when you get into the other games with Tulane and James Madison, that is not a playoff afternoon and evening that excites anybody. I hope they are all happy. They got what they wanted in the format, and it's 2 games that no one's. You know what's going to happen, Pat? A lot of people are going to switch over from the Oregon game to the Bears and the Packers Saturday night that overlaps with that game.
That'll win. That'll win for sure. I mean, that won't even be close in the ratings.
I don't know, man.
And don't get me. Everyone understand when I say it's not because it's the NFL matchup. Yeah. I mean, Notre Dame, Alabama could have been in that spot. And they would have lost to the Bears,
Packers, and they're both in the playoff hunt.
Correct. But even said, it's going to be way worse because they're not fielding a competitive college football game in that spot.
Yeah. But Pat, when I logged in this morning, you know, I get set up and people put chats before I go live, and I'm reading them while I'm getting set up. A lot of negativity. Some at me, some at just the vibe overall. I get it. This is a tough day, man. You're starting this playoff and you're not in it. People are upset. I understand.
But like, who are you going to be upset at? I mean, be upset.
Everyone.
I guess.
Everyone. You're upset at Notre Dame for losing 2 games. You're upset that Freeman's even entertaining the NFL. You're mad at the committee. You're mad at the ACC.
We don't know if Freeman. We don't know if Freeman's entertaining the NFL.
Even the rumor that he's entertaining it, people are mad, and people are mad at all the TV networks. It's easier to say who are you not mad at?
Okay.
Who are you not mad at?
Hold on. Let's go. This Freeman thing. Like, what do people want him to say?
I just want to be at Notre Dame, and I am here for the long run. We are going to win multiple championships, and I am here.
And then how many coaches have you seen say that through the years and then jump to a different opportunity?
I want to hear the sweet lies to make me sleep better for one night.
You know what? I appreciate when, if you can't.
Yeah.
We have a coach who cares greatly for the way his words are interpreted. And he'd rather say nothing at all, which I am perfectly okay with, than go out there and tell us the things that we want to hear when they very well may not be true.
Yeah.
If he came out there and said that and then interviewed for the Giants job, interviewed for it, not even took it, but interviewed for it. But he said he wanted to be at Notre Dame for a long time, exactly like his predecessor did with the Eagles. I would have been furious. I'd be furious with him. Yeah. Why would you say you want to be here all the time and then you actually go even interview for it? Like that doesn't make sense.
I think this is a unique situation with a fan base that is on the net leaning negative right now, and they just want some positivity. And seeing all of these rumors do not help. People are just not in the mood.
You know what's going to happen. So they're probably. I thought it was going to be today. The extension was going to be announced. I'm not that worried about it. What's going to happen though is because the same thing happened last year. They signed his extension the Monday before the Friday night game.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they announced it. I don't know when it was actually signed, but they announced it the Monday before the Friday night game. Because I remember we were talking about it that week, that Wednesday show, and you know what happened shortly thereafter? The Bears fired their coach. And regardless of an extension signed, the Bears were saying Marcus Freeman was their top candidate, and they wanted to interview Marcus Freeman. Yeah. So, like, people don't sit there and think, oh, well, we just need the contract signed or anything like that. That's not going to matter. The NFL doesn't care. The NFL has more money than college football programs have. They could buy out anyone's contract.
That's why even if he announces and they do an extension, you're going to be in this thing every single year.
You're going to be this every single year.
Yeah.
And until he either is not a good enough coach that nobody's calling for him, or he just keeps turning everyone down and never takes an interview, eventually they're going to stop being asked. There is a component to this that I don't like that we can't help is, and I, you know how I am, John, I hate to bring race into anything, but because he's a minority coach, he feels the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
And so the NFL is always going to want to interview him because that's an easy checkbox. And it's, you could probably guess how I feel about the Rooney Rule as a result, because that's all it does.
Yeah. But even saying that makes it sound like you're denigrating Marcus. It's just
and I'm not.
of the rules.
You know how high
hires.
I hold Marcus.
Yeah.
I am not denigrating him at all. He should be a top candidate for everyone. As you said before, he is a 39-year-old head coach at one of the most high-profile jobs in the country, and he has seen tremendous success that program hasn't seen in 35 years. Yeah. So, yeah, he's good. Everybody's going to want him. Of course, there's rumors for him to Michigan, to LSU, to Florida, to Penn State. Of course, all those programs are going to have an interest in him. It only makes sense. So it's fine, because Kent, he's not just black. He's also Korean. He is a multi-mixed race. He's not just black. So he's a minority. That's why I didn't say just a black coach. But anyways, back to the point that it matters. He's of course he's a hot candidate, but look, again, this is my own thing. I only worry about things I can control. I can't control what Marcus Freeman is going to do. But I can give you my unquantitative, expectation on things. He's just built probably the best looking football team Notre Dame can ever put on a field next year. Next year, it is the best looking team that since probably 93 for sure. He's losing 12 seniors. 12. That's it. And of the 12, half of them didn't play or weren't starters. They played maybe into 2 or 3 deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost your 2 running backs. You were going to lose your 2 running backs anyways. Have you not seen the running back recruiting that he's been doing? This is still the deepest running back room in the country. The third string running back who barely played would probably be the best running back in the country on probably 75-80% of the teams in the country.
Yeah, it's
there's I have no fear of the depth on this team. Like one of the things I like is I don't have Twitter, but I get tweets. I can see certain tweets that when they go viral through a different app, I get my news from. And there was one tweet that said, Marcus Freeman uncertainty is causing Notre Dame to hemorrhage quarterbacks. I was like, what? And it completely ignores the fact that the starting quarterback, who got 3 years of eligibility left, is still in the program. It completely ignores the freshman quarterback who is on the roster, and it ignores the freshman quarterback that's coming into the roster. It just talks about Kenny Minchie, who's transferring, who should. That was absolutely
always like the move. Everybody,
we always knew this was going to happen.
Yeah,
no one's surprised by it. And the 3-star throwing quarterback, and I don't mean that by any disrespect to him, but he was a throwing quarterback in last year's class. He's transferring as well because there's no path for him to play. Notre Dame is not hemorrhaging quarterbacks. Notre Dame is saying you guys have a better chance to play if you go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's and man, people need to realize, if you mention Notre Dame right now, you're getting views and you're getting clicks. Everyone knows
Correct.
that. That's why you're including
with my New Balances.
That is why everything is including. That is why Pate includes Freeman on every cover about NFL coaches and everything else. Like, it is hot right now to include Notre Dame in anything. So, but the Minchie leaving, everybody was expecting the right move. It's the right move for the young man. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is the absolute right move. And the Reza kid leaving, it's the right move for him.
Yeah.
He's got a kid in his class who is higher, who is going to play over him. Yeah. So
and then there's the talk of Gerard reclassifying to come into this
class. Right.
So this is You got to
You
be
know what?
real careful about what you take serious that you
Right.
see.
You and here's the thing is, like, there's going to be I'd expect probably a lot of kids to transfer out of this program. And that is not a sign of concern. It's not, because they
Yeah.
need to. He's going to have too many kids in this class. He's going
Yeah.
to. Because he just signed a class with 27 kids. He's not graduating enough players. All the kids in this senior class have already transferred out, the majority of them. So he needs transfers. There's going to be a lot of transfers. And so every kid who transfers, it's like Kennedy Urlacher last year. Yeah, it sucked. He was a good name. It was a good name. He wasn't going to play, let alone start. He was 7 on a 6-man depth chart.
I mean, you can't have it all the time.
Correct.
So Pat, this is just, everybody's frustrated. I totally understand it. You're not going to change it. People just want closure on the Freeman thing. So you can, when everybody says you got to just move on to next year, well, it starts with Freeman. So I understand why, until there's certainty, the unstable, uncomfortable vibe is going to permeate. I totally understand that. I think that makes logical sense.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. Look, the dude's still there. He's working. We're going to see more kids transfer. You might see one more kid, the Amir Wagner, go for the draft.
And I think Notre Dame might be fine with that, by the way.
Yeah, I think the entire offensive line are freshmen and sophomores. The entire offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, Stroud coming back next year and Jagasaw if he ever plays, but the entire offensive line is freshmen and sophomores. So we're at no risk here, people. It is the deepest team I could imagine. We are on level.
Oh man,
I think Marcus Freeman comes back with a fire and you know what, I heard an interesting story, John, and maybe you heard it too. His anger wasn't in the fact that they didn't have a chance to play for a title. His anger was in the fact that he hates losing.
Yeah.
He hates losing more than he loves winning.
Yep. It makes sense.
That is not a guy who is going to skip out of here. Then he's going to be out for a retribution, and it's going to be fine.
Zach keeps asking, what's the difference between Lanning and Freeman? Both are young guys. Freeman has a way, way different personality than Lanning. It just checks a lot of different boxes. It's not, I don't even look at them on the same plane. Freeman checks
I don't either.
boxes.
I think Freeman is definitely looked at as a better coach. You know what? Here's another part of it, John. And people think they could poach coaches from Notre Dame. Other schools think they could poach coaches from Notre Dame. I don't know why people don't think they could poach Lanning, because Oregon has not held on to any of their good coaches. But people really do think they can poach from Notre Dame. And so, like, Notre Dame has put itself into a second tier for whatever reason. I don't know. Now, Marcus can change that. The Bavacqua can change that. Remember when I came in, I was mad about the press conference. I said, there's one of two things you have to do now. You either have to put Freeman out there to cover your ass, or you just have to shut the F up and not say anything to anyone. And that's what they did. They stopped talking to everyone. They're not out there anymore. And that's fine. That's fine. I never wanted Freeman out there, but that was the position you were putting him in. So they've taken the right approach. They're just letting everything calm down. They're still recruiting. They're working on the transfer portal. Gilmore had a comment out there about kids they need. I agree about the defensive line. I think the wide receiver room is going to be better than we realize. I know you're losing Malachi Fields and Will Pauling, but Greathouse should be back. And you're going to have, like, Greathouse, the way they talked about Greathouse, he didn't seem like a kid that was looking to transfer, because they're talking about redshirting him. And I'm sure that's in, conversations with Greathouse. So he's probably going to be back. I think, and you got some really dynamite freshmen coming in. I think you're going to have a pretty good wide receiver room. If they get someone, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think the need's more at the defensive line position. The one thing I want to see from defensive line position is for Bryce Young to put on 30 pounds and slide into a defensive tackle spot. I don't know. That's maybe that's my dream and not the program's dream, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. The portal, we'll see what Notre Dame does, what guys enter it, what guys we target.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Pat, thanks for joining, buddy. Stay warm. It's real cold out there today, man.
Yep. Hey, are you doing shows next week?
I'm planning on it. Maybe not Friday, the day after Christmas, might have family stuff, but the earlier in the week, yeah.
All right. Later, brother.
Have a good one, man. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate you. Couple more chats. The Digger, $20 holler, and he's got a new logo. I like that. Sniper. We just got 2 I Love a Recruits. That kind of tells me Freeman's still involved. Now, leaving, I thought of that too. I'm sure those guys were going to ask, is Freeman going to be around if I'm going to commit? Philly special, Bears to Indiana. I did. Did you see the article? Arlington Heights is not giving the Bears the tax break they wanted, so now they're looking at Indiana. Welcome to the Gary, Indiana Bears. Bear down, Gary Bears. Unbelievable. Andrew, I bet the extension discussion, more about coaching budget and NIL guarantees. Yeah. And that was a lot of what Lane Kiffin wanted in his negotiations. Yeah, that was a big part of it. Tom and Todd coming up. What's going on, Tom? Good morning, brother.
Hanging loose like the balls on a moose. What can I tell you?
Hey, Tom, I got to tell you, man, people are just kind of down and they're frustrated, and you got the playoffs starting off today and we're not in it. There's a lot of frustration, and I understand it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Patrick Cotter's a tough act to follow. He hit about 97% of what I wanted to say, right on the money. You know, I want to address this Marcus Freeman to the NFL. This is not a new phenomenon, right? I mean, I remember back in the 70s, Parsegian to the NFL, Joe Paterno to the NFL, Barry Switzer, all the great coaches. Everybody's always like, and then look at the coaches that went to the NFL and their success rate. How many of them made it from the college ranks? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Spurrier, Saban.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, look at what Saban did. College success, NFL, real quick realized, nope.
And I'm here to, and there's another part of it. There's another component to this. For the first 20 years of my working life, I worked on the trading floors of the Chicago Board of Trade and the Options Exchange. And there, in the trading world, there's an old axiom: buy the rumor, sell the news, or buy the rumor, sell the fact. A lot of this shit is propped up by the agents and the Andrew Gilmores of the world. No, I'm not taking a shot at it, but he keeps putting it out there. And it's like, well, okay, I understand that you're front running the news, right? What's your goal? What's your objective here? Are you putting that out there just to look like Nostradamus, or do you really have facts on it? I mean, sure, it's a free market, right? Everybody's for sale. You know, there's no deals that are off the table. But the question remains: is Marcus Freeman NFL worthy? He's not. Not at this time. And I would dare to say that he's not even a great college coach yet. I'd say he's a good coach. He's still learning on the job, and I don't care what anybody says. I mean, do we have proof of that this year? Yeah, the first 3 weeks of the season and the pre-camp. So is he NFL ready? No, he'd get chopped up in the NFL. I hate to say that. I like him. I think he's fantastic, you know, but it's one of these things where you're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this program? And then what his forte is obviously the recruiting and developing the young kids. They love this guy, right? So it's like you're at a point now. Why would you? I know the agents are obviously front running a lot of this too, and you have to look at this stuff, but you go and you basically steal a kid like Joey O'Brien, who was, what is he, a top 2 recruit out of Penn State's backyard, I mean, Franklin should have been fired just for losing that because of what he said to Joey O'Brien. So when he's got this type of talent coming into Notre Dame, you got to give it time to cook. Everybody, we this instantaneous society, we want it now. We want it now. It takes a little bit more time, especially the way Notre Dame is set up. Somebody brought it up. I think the caller from Ohio State was talking about, what's the difference between, like a Freeman and a Cignetti. Well, Cignetti has had infinite more head coaching experience than Marcus Freeman did. I think the reason that he never got a shot at a big time job is because he's a caustic SOB. And we've seen that. So, where was Indiana at that time? They figure, okay, we're in the NIL era and the transfer portal era. You know what? If we throw a little money, let's see what happens. I remember the guy's first press conference. I was impressed by his ballsiness. I know he turned off a lot of people, but look what he did. And so what's the difference between Marcus Freeman and Cignetti? Well, it's clear. Their age different. Everything about it's different. Cignetti wouldn't fit at Notre Dame. There's no way they're going to put up with a guy like Cignetti at Notre Dame. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish
Tom, I get it though. I
do too.
I understand it because everyone's frustrated with what just happened. And the mature answer, Tom, is, and you've been saying this, the mature response right now isn't for us to cry all winter and off season. You got to move forward.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. You got to move forward. But people are stuck because if they don't know if the head coach is coming back, how do you move forward? That is where I feel like a chunk of this fan base is caught in between in the moment. You want to lean in and move forward and start to get over this, but logging into Twitter and seeing all the rumors of Freeman doesn't help anybody move on. I feel like that's the dynamic our people are stuck in the middle of.
Yeah, I have a Twitter account, or X, whatever you call it, and I use it.
That's your fault.
No, I just use it for a little bit of news source for business purposes. I don't look at the other stuff because I know how toxic it is. Yeah, and I won't use that. But you have to have the discipline to walk away from the nonsense too. That's the other part. What's your peace worth? What's your own personal?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put a price on some personal tranquility and peace.
Some sanity. What is your sanity worth?
Amen, brother. That's exactly right. And God knows we put ourselves through the ringer being Notre Dame fans, especially with what you brought up at the top of the show about all the hate. Now, I've chosen to use that as my superpower. Instead of having them suck that energy out of us, I'm going to take all their negative
fuel. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just say, you know what? I'm glad you finally all have exposed yourselves, even the younger, newer fans. You were born and bred with that Notre Dame hate, just like we were born and bred with the Notre Dame love. Now you've exposed yourselves. Now exactly, we know who you are. Good. All right, get you out in the open, and it's a nice thing. But one more thing, I saw some chatter beyond the Patreon wall about CJ Carr, and an interesting thing. The people that are not too keen on CJ because he's not the most mobile quarterback, and I talked to a coach yesterday. It's a very prominent high school and college quarterback guru here in Chicago. He runs a lot of 7-on-7 camps, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And I talked to him yesterday, and I said, what's your take on CJ Carr? What's his ceiling? He said, there will be no sophomore jinx for him because he did enough. There's enough body of work but it wasn't flashy. He didn't have particularly great numbers, and he didn't set the world on fire. But did his freshman campaign meet the hype? And I said, I think he kind of did, because he did prove himself. Does he have room to grow? Yes. But he said that kid's moxie, and his of what he's going to be able to do next year if he and they say he's a gym rat, he's a film rat, and he's a perfectionist. It's now about getting those receivers together in the offseason and really honing that craft. The timing routes, the back shoulder throws.
That next level of quarterback development. And even though you're going to have good running backs coming in and good tight ends to replace Reardon, there is going to be more pressure on Carr to be the engine that drives a lot of this offense, at least until 100%. Other backs develop or whatever, because you're losing that engine to me, which was the two running backs and then Reardon. Like, there is going to be more pressure on Carr to run this offense and for things to run through him, at least early on, while the other new pieces get situated. He's got to have a big jump from year one to year two.
And I think this is the hardest part for me today, is not being able to see what he was capable of doing in the playoff.
Yeah,
that's what really sucks.
It's hard. It's going to sting tonight, man. It is.
Yeah, because I guarantee you there were some things that were left off the playbook, and they started to show it a little bit in the last two games because they could.
Want to see what you want to see what they were going to come up with. Yeah.
Oh, man. And so, but you know what? We're going to find out. They better come out of the chute September 6th in Lambeau Field and just lay it all out there. Who cares?
Oh, that's a long ways away. That's a long ways away, man. We got a long. We got a long. You know what I'm looking forward to, Tom? I have never looked so much forward to that blue and gold tailgate. We all need to be together, drink a couple cold ones. I really just am feeling the urge to be with our group and have that support system. But this is going to be a long off season. Anything else on your mind, Tom? Anything you're going to be looking for in these playoff games as we get into the weekend here?
Who are we rooting for tonight?
Nobody. No one, Tom. I don't want anybody to win any of these games. I'm not rooting for anybody.
Yeah, I just might watch some indiscriminate hockey game or something. It's going to be too difficult. I'll look at the scores and stuff, but I'm not going to be fully bought in, because you know what's going to happen. I'll start watching this Oklahoma-Alabama game, and I'll flip over to a DVR Notre Dame game.
Yeah. It's
watching. Oh God!
This is going to be a long off season, and we all need to maintain our sanity. Tom, God bless you. I love you. Stay warm in the cold city. It's chilly out today, bro.
Oh yeah, it's colder than my ex-mother-in-law's heart.
Yeah, I love you, Tom. We'll see
you,
buddy.
Guys. Take care. Go Irish.
See ya. All right. We're going to go to Ashton and then Todd. I'm going to you. And you usually go a little longer. So I'm going to have Ashton come on, and then I'll go to you, Todd, and you can have the runway that you deserve, sir. WPP, $10 hour. I don't know if Freeman will leave or not, nor am I particularly interested. But Mr. Frolley's statement that Freeman is not ready for the NFL is not the issue. The issue is whether Freeman believes himself to be ready. I get that, WPP. But you could believe you're ready as a coach. And if you don't have suitors, it doesn't matter if you think you're ready or not. You got to have suitors that think you're ready enough too. So that's a two-way dynamic. Josh, good to see you, brother. Been saying my prayers for you, Josh. You got a lot going on, man. Thinking of you. It's just good to see you here, buddy. Ashton, what's going on, brother? Good morning.
Oh, morning, John. How you doing?
I've been better, man. I've been better. This is a rough day for Notre Dame fans. This is a year from when that exciting playoff run started, and it's really hitting us, and everybody's kind of in a weird place. How about you? Thanks for joining. Is this your first time? Thanks.
Well, when you were just doing regular calls, I'd call in all the time. It's my second since you started doing it like this.
Cool.
But, man, I've gotten over the fact that we got left out. I have. Of course, it's not going to sit right, but all these rumors with Freeman's still getting to me. I'm like, man, I don't see him going anywhere. I don't.
He feels uniquely suited to be a good college coach. I feel like his personality and the way he operates, it's such a collegey feel, like the father figure, players, coach, like the whole dynamic kind of works. He's navigating the tricky landscape of Notre Dame politics very well, working with the admin to get what you need, working with the donors, getting what you need. Like, he's doing a fantastic job. But I don't know if the NFL wants you. Do you have an obligation to hear him out? I don't know.
Eventually he could go to the NFL. I'm not going to say he never will. But as of right now, there's only one job that would scare me.
Ohio State.
Coming open. Yep.
Yeah. And I think Notre Dame fans would handle him going to the NFL much better than him going to Ohio State, because you can't really argue with, I want to be at the highest level and that's the NFL. You can't really argue that. Like, if somebody is desiring to be at the top level of sport, that makes sense. That's very different than like a Kelly being like, I can't win at Notre Dame, I'm going to LSU. That's a totally different thing. In my heart, I want to believe Freeman knows they're close, wants to win a title at Notre Dame, and then whatever else happens after that's gravy, baby. That's kind of what I want to think and feel.
Which, I don't know. I've had conversations with my dad. He thinks this was the year. He truly does, but we'll put that in the past, because the team's looking great next year on paper.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't know if it's true. Oh, go ahead.
What's really frustrating is this doesn't feel like a real heavy playoff field. It feels like it's pretty wide open, and anybody who gets in and gets hot has a chance. And Notre Dame had the third best chances, according to the powers that be, to win it all. It's all so frustrating. And then a lot of the engine that drove that, those guys are leaving. So it's just frustration on frustration. Price and Love should have more games in a Notre Dame uniform and then go pro, man. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
There's just a lot of frustration.
You're not wrong, and I thought there was a chance Price stayed. He didn't. I mean, I know a lot of the fan base was 50-50 on. Half of them thought there's no way he's coming back. The other half was like me. It's like, I think there's a decent chance he wants to be the running back one for a year.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're hurting at that position. And I don't know if it's completely true, but the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning was Greathouse announced he's staying.
Okay, I must have missed that, but I know that was a rumor too. Is he milking that injury and then gonna hop in the portal or whatever? Yeah, good.
So if that's true, that's great news. That means we really only need, to me, I think we still need to add maybe one receiver from the portal, and I want that Nick Marsh kid. From Michigan State, right?
Yeah, it's that's a name I think everybody's going to be after. The deal is you're going to have to pay, and that should not hold you back. Like, if anybody good in this portal, you got to pay up for.
Yep.
Notre Dame donors are mad. Write a bigger check and get what we need.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then the class we got coming in, I think next year's team is going to be really good. Then you got a pissed off Marcus Freeman after this.
Yep. Yeah, the motivational angle is pretty clear here of, you don't really need to state what's motivating next year's team. They are going to be, they should be foaming at the mouth to get out there in game one against Wisconsin and really go you got to let your anger out some healthy direction.
Which, I'm from Ohio. Me and my dad are talking about going to that game.
Dude, it would be awesome. I've always wanted to get to Lambeau. I believe it was scheduled in the virus year and it got canceled because of that. And you got to remember, Curly Lambeau was a Notre Dame guy. So there's a big Notre Dame connection between Lambeau and Notre Dame. It's going to be awesome. And the other thing I like about it is Wisconsin's not good. So, it shouldn't be a worry of are we going to be able to win it? They're not good. So you should be able to play in that cool stadium, honor Lambeau's Notre Dame legacy, and beat the crap out of them at the same time.
John, the second we start thinking like that, Wisconsin can come out and have the best year they've had in 2 decades.
Yeah, I know. It'd be the most Notre Dame thing ever. So how are you looking at these playoff games? Are you excited to watch it? Or are you going to be watching it with a bitter taste in your mouth? Like, I'm going to watch, but I'm going to be mad the whole time.
I'm still 50-50 on if I want to watch. I mean, I think the university itself, of course, that interview Pete had last week or whatever that was, early last week, that we wanted more from. But I think as the university, the program, and as fans, we might need to send our own message of just not giving them the ratings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess I'll make my decision when the time comes tonight, because I've been 50-50 the whole time. At the end of the day, I'm still a football fan. Still, I do think we might need to send a message.
Yeah, it's Notre Dame's got a lot of options to weigh. Somebody just put in the chat that it was reported that Bavacqua sat down with Jim Phillips of the ACC for multiple hours. Maybe they're trying to repair the permanent damage. Like, I don't know. Like, what's done is done. Maybe they're trying to repair the permanent damage. I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping they're discussing a buyout.
Yeah, no kidding. But so I don't know, but I just know there's a lot of angst and a lot of frustration directed in a lot of different ways. Ashton, the other thing that's bothering me is when you're like, well, what are you frustrated with? Everything. That is bothering me because there's not like one thing that I could direct my ire towards. I'm frustrated Notre Dame lost 2 games to begin with. I'm mad at the committee. I'm mad at TV networks. I'm mad at the ACC. I'm mad at everybody on social media taking extra, digs at Notre Dame. Like, I'm mad at all of it, from us to the other parties. I'm just frustrated with the whole thing. And I don't know where that leaves you. When you're mad at everything, like, where do you go from there?
I mean, I don't really know what to tell you to go from there. I really don't.
Well, I guess where you go from there is hoping you get reaffirmation of Freeman and Notre Dame, and you keep the recruiting and then the portal. That's where you got to go. That's the only where you can go is forward. So Freeman comes back, you attack the portal hard, and you keep recruiting great. That's all you can do in the short term. That's it. That's it.
If Freeman was showing any interest, of course, we probably wouldn't know on the outside. But even internally, if any of those players knew he was showing interest, I think there'd be a lot more big name players popping in the portal. I haven't seen any big name players leaving, any starters leaving just for the portal. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, man, this is just it's just a very uncomfortable position, and it's going to be a bitter weekend. And I'm going to watch these games with the scowl on my face. Ashton, anything else, buddy? Thanks for calling in.
No, that about hit all my points. Yeah, hey, good talking to you, John. It's been a while. Had the week off, thought I'd give you a call.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Hey, happy holidays. Keep the faith, and we'll be back. And if you're in Ohio, I don't know the drive, but we do the big tailgate for Blue and Gold. You and your dad.
I went not this year, but I went last year.
Awesome, man. Come by.
It's about 3 hours from Notre Dame. I go sometimes for Blue and Gold, but I go to at least a game every year. This year I had second row seats to A&M. It was, yeah.
It was great up until it wasn't.
Yeah.
God bless.
On the other side of the same end zone, they scored their game-winning touchdown on.
Yeah.
So of course they scored on. So we're looking at the field. They scored on the right side of the tunnel. We were sitting on the left side of the tunnel.
I bet you that was a long drive home, buddy. I've had many of those drives where you just sit in silence with your people and you angrily just drive on the highway. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Ashton, man, happy holidays. Thanks for joining, buddy.
See you, John.
Have a good one. What a nice guy. We got some nice people here. You guys are great. You guys really are great. $10 holler. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. Speaking of nice people, Nick and his wife are just about the most lovely Notre Dame people you could ever meet. We ND fans have to understand this playoff situation is our fault. Go 12-0 or 11-1. We'll get in no matter what. Bavakwa better keep Freeman or he's going to be gone. I'm totally with you, Nick, but that doesn't make it okay for the committee to play games with Notre Dame as if they're like a pawn in a greater chess game they're moving around to manipulate the system. I agree with you that Notre Dame could have prevented all of this, but that doesn't make it okay for the committee to play disingenuous games. The way people are saying everyone knew the ACC was getting a team in no matter what, and the fix was in for that, regardless of the playoff chair telling you otherwise. Like I'm with you. We could have avoided all this, but that doesn't make the games okay. Todd, welcome in, brother. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny. Hey, real quick, I went to go on your site this morning. I have it in one of my shortcuts on my screen, and it wouldn't take. It took the StreamYard, but it wouldn't take you. Then I went back in, and it looks like the address changed. Does that change, or is it constant?
The address for the link should change every day because whenever you create a new show, it creates a new
link. Okay.
And there is a possibility I forgot to change one of them. And it had the old information, but every day we'll have a new individual link. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't go on YouTube where I get the feedback. So I got to copy it, paste it in Google, and then go on.
Gotcha.
Okay,
yeah.
So,
Hey, you're good with the technology, Todd. Good job.
Well, hey, listen, I'm learning this stuff. I should have taken typing as a freshman instead of an extra course of earth science. Because boy, I would love to get some of the people that are, I'd like to talk about sports and other things. But anyways, so I'm going to put kind of a calmness to everybody. If Notre Dame is irrelevant, then why are 80 to 90% of the chats and the stuff online involving Notre Dame? They can't get away from us. We're not irrelevant. So let's get that out there, first of all. That's an encouraging thing. Second, I thought two of the best interviews, or whatever you want to call them, that we do all the time were Mike last week about all the inside stuff about NBC. And that was awesome. And I got a new handle for him. He should call himself Just the Facts, Jack. That's what he was about.
I cut that segment up, and I might run it over the weekend as its own standalone segment because I think people should hear that insider perspective and how the TV networks drive a lot of this and everything that's falling apart behind the scenes. Really interesting. I was genuinely interested in everything he was saying because it was so unique.
Yeah, it was a new perspective and something that we don't usually look at. We look at the sports aspect. The other interview that you did was a gentleman that came to Notre Dame from the Middle East. I thought that was great. Notre Dame should use that for a recruiting thing just for the school.
Yeah, man. He was like, I'm going to America. And all he knew of America was South Bend, Indiana. That was it to him.
That was crazy amazing. Wild. Yeah. So look at Freeman like this. I think he has more character and more integrity than everybody that was on the playoff committee this year. And this is who the person is. If you think he doesn't discuss things with his wife, I think Freeman, if he was going to leave, I think it would be when his last child was graduating high school and going to college. Because I think he wants that atmosphere. His wife wants the atmosphere that's here. And once again, like Pat said, his character is something where he wants to instruct young kids to be men. And in the NFL, listen, what did Saban do? He won a championship, if I could stand corrected, but he won a championship at LSU, went to Miami, found out I can't do the things I did at LSU. I'm not the CEO anymore, These players kind of give me headaches. They want this, they want that. And he said, that's enough of that. So he went back to college. He went to Alabama, and he's the CEO again. Okay, so you look at it like that. Freeman's not ready for that jump, and I don't think he wants the hassles, and I don't think his wife wants to live around New York City right about now anyways.
Yeah, it is a good point when you have that many kids that are younger and in school, and then you lay down these roots. That is a consideration. And just the whole converting to Catholicism once at Notre Dame, like really buying in. My intuition tells me he knows they're close and he wants to try and win a championship at Notre Dame. And to me, anything that would happen after that is gravy, man. Like, I feel like that's where this is at. But Todd, you've been sitting there listening. I understand why Notre Dame fans are anxious. They're already in a bad mood. They're already frustrated. You get told to move on to next year, but then you keep seeing these rumors about your coach. It makes it hard to move on to next year. So I get the frustration. Notre Dame fans are stuck in an awkward, uncomfortable place.
Well, the thing is, my dad got to witness all of the championships. I got to witness 66, 72, 77, and 88. I got to witness them, okay? But the last one was 88, okay? I was 36 years old. I am now 73, so we're looking at almost double my age.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Tom, so we're actually more than double my age.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you the same thing I've asked my dad and my grandfather before he passed away? What's it like for Notre Dame to be number one and for nobody to be able to question it? Because if you're my age or younger, you have no idea. I was 4 when we won it, couldn't appreciate it. I asked my dad that. I said, what's it like when we win the championship and we're number? He said, I can't even explain it. You're walking on cloud 9. You're walking around like you won the championship. He's like, I can't explain it. It's just the pride that comes out of you. And like, what's it like for us to be on top?
Well, old school people would call it bragging rights. The kids nowadays would call it cred.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like. Like I still wear my hat. I still am waiting for people to say stuff. And everybody I've run into, former high school coaches and everything, they're like, the committee missed it. Well, where the committee missed it is, first of all, it was never set up to do what it did. And my oldest son said to me, Dad, I don't care where Duke was ranked or unranked. They played by the same rules that Miami played by. They went to the championship game and they won it. They should be in. But that's not what the thing says for college football. It says the highest ranked, five groups.
You got to change that.
Yeah. Well, what they need to do is exactly what the guy said. Do you realize that only 4.6% of the top 25 were from group of fives? And the other basically 95.6, I know it's a little over 100, but 95.6 are from group of fours plus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Next year, this is interesting. With the Pac-12 coming back, next year, there will be, at this stage, 72 teams in the group of 6 and 68 teams, counting Notre Dame, in the Power 4. I mean, they're going to have 4 more teams than we do. Now, do we expect one of those teams? Because it was all set up just for one of those teams to have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think they need to do what they did with the FCS. I mean, look at, you've got 72 teams. Have your own playoff.
Yeah.
And let the big boys have their playoff. You know, like the 3 people that said that were Jeff Saturday, Randy Cross, and who was the other one? Yeah, put the best 12 in and settle it on the field. They're not the best 12.
The issue is, even amongst the teams that play Power 4 schedules, including Notre Dame and the others, even in that group, it's hard to weigh schedules versus other schedules and figure out what's harder, let alone dropping down a full level. And then they get a spot in the playoff. You can't even separate tough versus easy schedules and how to handle that with Power 4 schedules, let alone that lower level, man. I don't know what you do, but you may find out tomorrow. Does it matter if this flops and those 2 teams get blown out and they're not competitive and the TV numbers go down? Is that enough for somebody to be like, man, we really got to look at this? Or are they going to feel like we did our job?
Well, here's what happened. It came down to this. In fact, Saban said this. He said, look, this isn't about participation trophies, and that's why you're in the playoffs. It can't be this.
Yeah.
We need them to participate. And even if you went to 16, 18, 24, you're still going to have those teams in there.
Yeah.
And JMU played 1 Power 4. They also played an FCS team. And they played one Power 4, Louisville. They got beat by 14 points, right? And Miami played Louisville and got beat.
We've already seen Tulane and Ole Miss, and it was 45-10. That game's already been played.
Well, this is where you think about ESPN, right? They got ESPN, SEC, ESPN, ACC, right? Yeah. Big Ten has their own thing, their own network. But if you think that those people didn't have influence put on them, right? Ivan Mizell, I can't vote. I got to withdraw. I heard because something about somebody made a comment in his book. Yeah. Who cares? If I'm a coach and my best friend's kid is the best player in the city and I got first choice, I'm taking my best friend's kid. I'm not saying, oh, listen, I'll give you other guys, I'll let one of you other people draft them, right? For like Little League. Yeah. No, I'm taking my friend's son because he's the best player. And what happened here? This is what I want to say. The definition of integrity, which I will sit in front of that committee. I don't care who they are. I mean, like I said, I've talked to and spent 2 years because our kids played together with Terry Pagula. I've witnessed the Darryl Strawberry. I've talked to a lot of guys on the Bills that were Christians and Jim Kelly's wife, Jill. It doesn't matter who I talk to because they're human like me. So I would put that committee in front of me and say, first of all, the character that you displayed by doing this, I said, you just blew your character up. I mean, you have none. And the other thing is the definition of integrity. I mean, think about this. Being honest, having strong moral principles and acting consistently with them, even when no one is watching, reflecting an inner wholeness. And I'm thinking, you guys certainly didn't do that. And the whole integrity of the playoff system, the way it's set up, is lacking.
So what's the answer, Todd? What would be the impetus to change this?
Well, it would be number one, separating the conferences and putting the group of 6, which it'll be next year, putting them in their own playoff bracket. I mean, you got 72 teams and you're going to get what? 1 or 2 in? Come on. You need more than that in some significant playoffs and playing for a championship of your group. I believe that next year the SEC is going to 9-game schedules. And one of the things I would say for the Power 4 and Notre Dame, no scheduling FCS teams, and you can only schedule one group of 6. That's it, because we gotta base your value based on Power 4 competition. If it's going to be a Power 4 only playoff, then you got to play at least 11 Power 4 games.
Todd, that is something I know John Bryce at Football Scoop has been hammering this, saying, why wasn't it a bigger point of contention about Notre Dame playing FBS level schools and not dropping down like other people and getting a win? Why doesn't that count more for Notre Dame that they did? But it's just, you're not going to win this battle when you're Notre Dame because everybody's stacked against you.
Because you show them the facts. The only 4 teams, like I said before, between the SEC and the Big Ten, the only 4 teams that did not schedule an FCS team were Texas. They could have swapped out Ohio State and played an FCS team. They chose not to.
Yep, and it burned them too, by the way.
Right. Texas, Michigan, UCLA, and Southern Cal are the only 4 teams out of the SEC and the Big Ten that did not schedule any FCS teams. Yeah. And to me, no, you don't need to play an FCS team. You're going to boat race them, and all it is a glorified practice to see how, or let's say a glorified controlled scrimmage to see how your team is handling things. And no, that to me should not be. That actually should take away from you if you schedule an FCS team. That's why you need to put the group of 6 in their own playoff system, and you can play one. That ensures that Navy and Notre Dame would play every year because Notre Dame doesn't want to drop that, and I understand totally about the school and how they helped out everything. So
Todd, what do you think the playoff format's going to change for next year? Do you think they're going to go to 16 or change the rules, or is that Notre Dame memorandum that everybody's losing their mind about? Is that it? What do you expect for next year? Any changes with the backlash and Or do they look at a Texas, a Vanderbilt, a Notre Dame, BYU left out and go, that's a reason to go to 16 because we could add all those teams in it that have a shot. Like, do you think change is coming?
I don't know how they do a 16 because if you look at like this, if you're giving 4 teams a bye, then you've got 8 teams left, which is 4 games. So the 4-4 matches. You've got to have something that equals the amount of teams you're going to give a bye to. So if you went to 16, what are you going to do? 4 byes, you got 12 teams left. That's going to be 6 teams that are going to be going somewhere, but you only got 4 byes. So you've got to come up with some sort of a system where maybe nobody gets a bye.
Yeah.
Maybe that happens. Maybe they have a play-in.
And then the other question, Todd, is where do conference championship games fall in this? Because right now, those are in no man's land where like no one's excited about them, but you kind of play them and no one knows whether they count for the playoff thing or not. Some teams it counts, others it doesn't. What do you do with the conference championship games that have lost all of their luster for the most part because everybody's looking past them to the playoff? What do you do with those?
Well, think about it. For Alabama, it didn't matter about the loss, but for a team like Duke that wins it, you can't go even though you won your conference championship. You can't go because you're not ranked. You're not ranked.
And then BYU lost, and they got dinged, but Alabama looked bad. They didn't. So I don't have clarity on whether they matter or not. Nobody knows.
Well, this is what I'm saying. There's no integrity in the committee. If they're looking at one game, Notre Dame loses to Miami, a 10th ranked team, right, by 3 points, but Alabama gets beat by a Florida State. So Notre Dame gets dinged for losing to a Power 4 team that's ranked 10th at the end of the year, and Alabama doesn't get dinged for losing the first game of the year to Florida State, which, I mean, they didn't score any kind of stuff. I mean, they did the first week after they beat them, but after that, it was all downhill, baby. And I'm thinking, well, you had no consistency, which tells me you had no integrity in that room. Nobody's standing up and saying, listen, this is how we're going to judge it. This is what we're going to do. This is how it's set up. You got to tell everybody as it going along. I agreed with somebody that said, I don't know if it was both on TV and on the site. Why in the world do they bring us each week into that committee room? What they should say is, here's how we're going to judge it. We'll come on the last 2 weeks and tell you what we got.
TV drama, man. They're treating it like a reality TV show. And you know what, Todd?
Money.
It's a reality TV show, squeezing it between basketball games that get no ratings as a way to artificially raise the whole thing. But every piece of it is reality TV. If you notice, Todd, even the music gently playing behind them while they're reviewing the bracket is this tense like music in the backdrop. It's very gentle, but it creates this anxiety. This is a TV show for them. It's our lives, but for them, it's a reality TV show.
Right. So just one comment about Freeman. He's the type of guy, if you were going to choose between the two, he's not going to choose flight. He's going to choose fight.
Yeah,
and it's
that's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. It matches his personality. That matches his personality.
He's not going to change from the fact that it's win one play at a time. And the more you win one play at a time, you're going to win games. That's going to be his thing. He's not going to be into this mantra of we're going to go out and this is what happened to us and we're going to destroy everybody. That's not Freeman. He wants to see the team develop. He wants them to be consistent. And if that consistency leads to more scoring during the game, then so be it. Denbrock's got to change the whole scheme and play calling, though. He's got to have more. You think about it. Aeneas Williams impressed everybody with the catch he made against Penn State when he ran that wheel route. I mean, the announcers are like blown away. Like, are you serious? And, like, where'd this guy come from? So you've got him. You just got the number 1 and number 3 running backs in the country. I presume they're still there. You're getting all these kids. Freeman's not going to go anywhere because how's he going to tell all these NFL stars and Hall of Fame NFL players that are sending their kids there, I'm out, I'm going someplace else? He isn't going to do that. There's no way. So everybody can put their fears to rest that Freeman might leave. He's not gonna. Family family consistency and being bought into the community and everything else. And trust me, his wife's a stabilizing force. You can see that the way he talks, right?
Yeah.
Well, I talk my wife. Yeah. And so that's it. So we don't need to worry about that. We got to worry about getting the group of 6 out of the Power 4 plus Notre Dame. And then you're going to see some things happen. Can you increase it after you do that? Yeah, because if you increase it with the group of 6, well, then you're going to get the group of 6 teams. And you don't want that. You want the best teams right now, the 12 best. And everybody knows that Notre Dame should be in there. But because of pressure from who controls the SEC, well, the big networks are paying them all the money.
Yeah.
Right? We'll pay you this money. And if they go against the networks, what happens? Well, out. Now, a guy made a really good point, and I don't know if it was on your site or if I heard this. Notre Dame is not a regional team like the SEC. Notre Dame is always on nationwide, always, either with the Peacock NBC thing for all the home games. And then I believe, isn't Peacock going to do the Wisconsin deal next year?
I don't know.
I think they're doing that.
That would be wait.
Now,
you can't do the Peacock game for the first game of the year. Give me a break. Come on, the first game of the year is going to be
you never know. I can't remember where I read who was going to do that, but anyways, so they've got them. Yeah, and NBC has to step it up, and they have to do something to promote us. They're paying us the money, but if you want a good product and you want to have us on all the time and you want us to win, then you've got to promote us. You know?
I'm with you on that. They should be able to do a little more as the TV network arm to try and flex that power rather than let the 4-letter network, do all of that. I'm with you. Anything else, Todd? KKIrish, you're coming up next.
Well, I can say this. All I'm going to do as far as the Tulane and the JMU games is just see how bad they get boat raced. I won't even, I'm a true college football fan, but I'm not going to watch something that's a farce. I mean, unless all of a sudden those two teams, Mississippi and Oregon, come down with the flu or something, and they had to play all their second stringers, it's not worth watching. Alabama, I think that Oklahoma is going to beat them at home more than they beat them in Alabama. I think they'll beat them by at least a touchdown.
Now, it is interesting, if you remember, Todd, Alabama won the statistical battle in that game, but I think they had 4 or 5 turnovers, and that's what did it. So we'll see. But you have a battle between the no offense of Oklahoma and the -3 rushing yard offense of Alabama.
But you got to remember,
those teams struggle offensively.
I think Mateer is going to be back to full strength. He's had a few weeks off. There's things they do now with rehab that, I mean, there was a kid that went to a local school that sprained his ankle. They had this boot on him with the 10s charge and all that. He had no problem playing the week later. So colleges have this too. I think he's going to be back. I think he'll do more in this game, I think, at home than he did, when he was on the road. The other game is like the JMU and the Mississippi, but the big game. I want to see at home Texas A&M just boat race. I mean, in boat race, and just lay it on, and just pound Miami. I think they'll find a way with their athleticism to cover Tony, and I think that they might be in for a long night in Miami. And I'm hoping that happens for one reason, to show the committee that they were a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
And that will ruin that. Well, ESPN knows they're going to get a lot. Well, I think ABC's broadcasting it. I think that the network knows they're going to get a lot of people watching it for the simple fact that Miami went in over Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But they're hoping it's a good game. But if it turns into not a good game and people are clicking off because it's out of control, well, what did you do? And that's the thing. I think Notre Dame can maintain their independence as long as people are willing to schedule us. Okay. On a home and home. We have the one with Clemson. We got one with Auburn coming.
Texas and Alabama are coming up on the schedules too.
Yeah. And so I think we can do that. But like I say, the two big things I believe in is you've got to separate the group of 6 from the Power 4 plus Notre Dame, and any of the ones in the Power 4 and Notre Dame cannot play any FCS teams, because we've got to grade you on who you play, and you can only play one group of 6. And then that leaves you with one group of 6. That leaves you with 11 Power 4 games. And that's how we have to base your criteria on.
I like it.
Because Todd, we don't have enough with you playing each other. And then if you're playing FCS teams and you're playing group of 6 teams, how do we know how good you are? No, you got to play against equal competition if we're going to do that.
Here's what I'm going to say, buddy. I'm going to enjoy seeing you as the spokesman of the CFP committee next year on TV, explaining your decisions. You're going to do a great job, and I think you're going to be the commissioner of the CFP. Todd, enjoy the football. Have a good weekend, and then join next week. We'll have some games to react to. Okay, buddy?
All right. Thanks, Johnny. You have a great weekend.
I'm not going to enjoy the football. I'm not going to enjoy the football, but I'm going to watch it. So we'll see.
Yeah, you click me off, but I still stay on and watch this stuff. So
there you go. Have a good one. KKIrish, what's up, buddy? Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny. Last time I was on, it was late at night. I was outside and you couldn't see me. And when we hung up, I heard you say, that was some accent. Where's he from? Well, I'm from New York, just outside of the city, up in Westchester County. And the Marcus Freeman to the Giants, the local sports radio and all that, they just brushed that off like he ain't coming here. So, I mean, I don't know what you think of it.
Yeah, listen, everybody's telling you as Notre Dame fans, you got to move on, quit your crying, move on, get over it, move on. Well, it's hard to move on when you log online and all social media is full of these rumors. It's making you pause with the moving on because Freeman's the main part of it.
Yep.
And I don't know what to make of it. And Pat earlier said the Rooney rule, you could have genuine interest in Freeman and check that box if you're the NFL. Like, that's maybe a part of it, but I don't know. It's just uncomfortable. Everyone's uncomfortable right now. Everyone. But it is interesting to hear the local narrative from the New York angle, the way they are with sports and the Giants. I was wondering what they were thinking.
Yeah, because one of their local radio stations is WFAN in New York, and Boomer is on there, and he blows it right off. He's like, there's no way they're going to go with an established guy. They're not going to go with a college coach, or I don't think they're going to go with an offensive or defensive coordinator that way either. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but man, there's just a lot of frustration and uncertainty right now, and Notre Dame fans are just not in a good mood, and the playoffs starting and you're not in it. We're in a weird spot.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer with the playoffs starting today because you got the 2 teams that we should be in instead of. And then tomorrow at 12 o'clock, you got the Notre Dame Bowl the 2 teams that we lost to, which is depressing itself.
It really is the Notre Dame Bowl. And we lost to both of them. But I'm telling you right now, I would like to see Texas A&M beat Miami.
You know what? I don't know about. I mean, I hate Miami, but I don't know. I think they're a better team than A&M right now.
Yeah,
it's going to be what Beck can do. If Beck puts his head in the sand, A&M's going to roll him, I think. But if Beck plays up to what his potential could be, Miami could give him fits.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And you know what else I'm interested to see in that matchup is Miami's defensive front against A&M's offensive line. That's kind of some strength on strength there with what Miami has on that front.
There's some big boys on both sides.
Yeah. So, but man, it's just going to be a bitter watch the whole time through. Okay. So you think that this Freeman to the Giants do you think any other NFL job, or is it the same story? They want to interview him. He wants to make NFL contacts. There's advantages to that. You could leverage Notre Dame for a little bit more. What you want here, more pay, more NIL for the staff, more pay, more NIL, whatever. Is that what you think's going on? Little leveraging here?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Freeman wants to leave. I don't think he needs to leverage, because I think Notre Dame, Bavacqua and the administration love him, and I think he loves it there. You know, it's almost Lou Holtz like, where Lou Holtz never wanted to leave. He only left, I mean, he didn't want to break Knute Rockne's record. That's why Lou stepped down, you know what I mean? Which, you know, he tipped his hat to the tradition, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is, man, this is just, it is high drama, man. I am Notre Dame fans are in a weird spot. Hey, you know what? If you want to lean on a positive with a news cycle that's been pretty negative, is it's very unfortunate how good that 26 class is Notre Dame signed. It's the kind of a bona fide top 3 class. And we've been begging for it, but everybody's been so down in the dumps, you can't really lean into it fully. It's weighed down the excitement of that really good class.
Yeah. And how do you walk away from those kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Did you have you started watching the on the Peacock, Here Come the Irish?
I'm not there yet. I'm not. I will get there in the off season, but I am not ready for it right now. I understand there's some stuff in there with the A&M. I'm just not in a place where I could do it right now.
Well, there's only 2 episodes out so far. Last year, they came out weekly during the season. This year, they held it back until after the season. So the last couple, when with the snub and everything, should be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I have not been in the mental place to want to do that. I'll get there in the off season. So I don't know, man. We're in a really weird spot. I do appreciate that New York angle there of how the local media and WFAN, what a big reach they've had over the years in that market. Like I grew up an old sports radio guy, so I love the Chicago sports talk radio and looked up the fan stuff online to get their perspective. I love that old school talk sports radio stuff. Anything else, buddy?
The college, the playoff format it's getting ridiculous. And you know what's killing it? How come the conferences? How could you have a conference with 19 teams? Conferences, if you remember, conferences never had championship games. It was always, you had 10 teams in the conference, you played everybody, and whoever had the best record was the champ. You know what I mean? Now do you remember going way back to the first conference championship game? I think it was Alabama, Florida. Florida, if you remember, going in, Florida had 4 losses, and the SEC was holding its breath because Florida was winning the game. And if Florida won the game, it would have screwed everything up. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
But there was actually a 30 for 30 on ESPN because they did, like I said, they had to do a conference championship game, and Florida made it to the championship game. They had 4 losses. And everybody was like, oh, what's going to happen if Florida beats them?
But you are right. You are right, because you expand the SEC and the Big Ten so much, it's hard then to even compare the schedules because they don't play each other enough that it all gets spread thin. And that's how you end up with goofy tiebreakers like the ACC had. And it's hard to even compare schedules in a conference anymore.
Exactly. Like even Alabama played in the conference championship game.
You know what it's all about, man. That bigger TV revenue share, baby.
Yep. But like if you look at the SEC, Alabama had 2 losses, and you had 3 teams that didn't play in the championship game that had 1 loss, A&M being one of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like they're operating from get as much money in here as we can, and then we'll try and figure everything else out underneath that. But like the priority is more power, more money, more TV, and then all the ancillary problems. Well, we'll deal with it when we get to it. That's how it comes off. We didn't really think of that.
Yeah, that's like locally. Rutgers is in the Big Ten, and they got to go all the way out to California to play UCLA and USC. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but it's all about the student athletes, right? It's so I don't know, man. I would like to see here's how I'll end this. I would like to see an announcement for Freeman that he's back so everybody can calm down.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
then you could really move it forward with the recruiting. Keep doing a good job. Hammer that portal and figure out who you need and go get them. Come up with the money and get them. So then we at least have some momentum heading into next year. Because right now, I feel like we're stuck in negative neutral.
Yeah, we're spinning the wheels right now.
Yeah. But KK, I appreciate you, man. I like that accent.
Hey, you know what's
Yeah.
funny? I don't mean to cut you off, but
Sure.
my last name is Kenny. But all my life in school, they always said, "Oh, Kevin Kennedy," and I always have to correct them. Like, no, it's not Kennedy, it's Kenny. They're like, "Oh, sorry." But
Yeah.
it's funny that you're Kennedy and I'm Kenny, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like it, KK. So, hey, man, enjoy the football this weekend. Brighter days ahead for Notre Dame, hopefully. And I really appreciate you jumping on, man.
All right, pal. Go Irish.
Yep. Happy holidays. Take it easy, man. Oh, right when the dog was getting on the screen, too. Some competition with Mark with Glasses' dog when we all thought it was a stuffed animal till his dog rolled over on the couch that one day. I didn't even think his dog was real. James, that's actually pretty funny. You could play in the Independence Bowl. That would be oddly appropriate for Notre Dame. I thought of this too. People that are like, why doesn't Notre Dame take a couple of these other teams and create their own conference or whatever? You should create a conference called the Independence Conference. Oh, man. All right, you guys, I'm getting out of here. Thanks for being here. I understand all the frustration and all the anxiety. I'm right there with you. You're in a weird spot as a Notre Dame fan. I totally get it. It's all fair. We're going to ride this out together. I'm not going to tell you what to do this weekend. If you want to watch these games and be mad and bitter, go for it. If you're in a spot where you could clear your mind and just try and want to watch more college football, go for it. I'm not telling you how to handle it, but it's going to be very uncomfortable. I love you guys. I love this community. Thanks for being here. Try and enjoy the football.